Tajikistan in India. So here we are in the last session of our seminar for students focused on data science and on advanced Excel. And Baxi Sachar is going to finish this seminar today and bueno, to advance in the Excel tools, so useful, in my opinion, to make many things in many activities. So Baxis, please, when you want, you can start.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia, ma'am, for your kind introduction. And I welcome all the students for today's seminar. And today's seminar is going to be the last seminar from the last 3 days we have been interacting. And today is the fourth day of our session. And today we will be discussing about Excel dashboards. So Excel dashboards is something that will combine a lot of the things that you have learned till now into today's class. So and before we begin, I would also encourage if you have any doubts, because it can look very complex initially. So if you have any doubts, please you can speak or you can type in the chat and we can discuss that. And yes, and before we start today's class, I will just show you, like in yesterday's class, we did not have much time to get into the charts and diagrams. So before we get into the Excel dashboard, I would just like to show you what kind of charts and diagrams you can make through Excel. And meanwhile, I have also shared the file for today in the chat. You can have a look at it and download the file. It's a very interesting data set that I found on football in Europe. Different football clubs of Europe and the season data, the number of goals which were scored by different football players by different clubs in Europe. That's the data set that I have for us today. And and yes, I'll just share my screen and show you some of the charts. Yes. So for today, I'll start with, so like I was mentioning, I hope the screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So I just wanted to show you the different kind of charts that can be made. This is, I mean, just run through these so that you can see the kind of visualizations can be made. So this is based on total spend versus click, an analysis that is done through these two charts. We can directly like this, select these and then go to, there's an option in insert, and from insert, so generally Excel automatically recommends which kind of charts that can be made, like the two that have already been there, and this is one more kind that can be made. For example, this. So if I press OK, this is one more chart that I have for the data that I have. So just repeating the step, you just select the data like this, go to insert, and we then do the recommended charts. I will also upload this file in the documents that you'll be getting, and you can have a look at all these. Moving on, this is another chart that we have of ticket sales, and so these are again made through this data. Again, like I said, we select this, go to insert, and we have different kind of diagrams here. And yeah, as you can see, we can have any diagram that we want. So yes. Yes, so as you can see, total is getting higher, which we don't want. So we can decide not to choose total. And out of this, we go to insert. And here, yes, yeah. As you can see from this chart, as you can see, we had maximum number of sales for comedy. It's something that is very easily observable. Then after that, we had thriller, and then we had romance movies, and then we had documentary. This is something that we can learn from the chart easily, right? Moving on, we also have histograms. This is how a histogram looks like. This is some data of heights and weight and age of students. And these are Pareto weight diagrams. Again, some files that I will be sharing this with you so you can have a look at it in detail. This is a trend diagram, the trend of different websites, Google, Amazon, and similarly, these are again some data charts that are made out of the ticket sales. These are pie and donut charts that are made for the data that is provided for apparel, for electronics, for toys and games and houseware. Again, I'll show this one. We go like this and we go to insert. In terms of recommended chart, it will give us different recommendations. But if we want a specific pie chart, we can even even make something else like, so this is a scatter plot. These are bubble charts. We'll have bubble charts ahead as well. So similarly, we can make, so yeah, this is again another bubble. These are called bubble charts. And you can see, so the advantage of a bubble chart is it tells us the extreme values in a data.
You are muted. You are muted.
Okay, wait, am I audible now? Yes.
Yes.
So like advantage of a bubble chart is we have all the data in front of us and we can understand the extreme values. Like this is an extreme value, this is an extreme value, but the concentration is here through which we can decide, can draw a line and we can automatically get to know the data better. Similarly, yes, so this is again for, we can have bubbles for specific locations. This is what the data tells us. This is a scatter plot. And yeah, these are for different teams, team ID, league, the division, everything is there. Similarly, moving on, these are box and whisker charts. These are tree maps. It tells us again the number of sales. This is a sunburst. All of these diagrams you can make through your Excel. This is called as a waterfall chart. A waterfall chart helps us understand which number is at the highest level and which is at the lowest. So as you can see, it starts with gross revenue, and then moving on, it comes at the end to net income. And yes, these are radar charts. These are made based on the data that we have. Again, we can use this data and create these radar charts. Excel may suggest us this, but we have an option of radar chart here based on which we can create these. This is the one that we created. Yeah, as you can see. So we can just go there and we can even customize it like this. If you want, we can, in the design option, we can change the design of it. Like we can change it to black, gray, or any style that we want. So let me, yes, yeah. So this is how we can change the design as well. Moving on, if some of you have seen in the news how stock charts make, these are the stock charts, how the change in stocks happen. So this is in stock language, they also call it a candlestick. So because this looks like a candlestick. So it's also called as a candlestick chart. And for example, I was showing that in design, we can change it. So I can even change it like this or like this or like this. So all of these changes we can make and we can change our design the way we want. If some of you may have also seen sometimes, this is something which very commonly Wikipedia uses. On Wikipedia, if you Google major cities, you'll find Wikipedia provides this kind of information about the highest temperature and the lowest temperature. This is a heat map, which again can also be customized. Moving on, this is a 3D surface chart. This is based on car accidents data. So like this tells that which are the general days of the week when highest amount of car accidents happen. Similarly, this is another data set. These are spark lines that we can generate. And moving on, I will, this is again some data sets. And now we can slowly, yes, this is all also we have discussed. So now we will, but before we move further, anybody has any doubts on these diagrams? Because you can use these diagrams in your professional work across for different data sets that you create. Meanwhile, I will also let me share the link of this in the chat so that you can access this as well. Yes, I've shared this in the chat. So moving on, today we'll be working with, so I request you to download the earlier data set that was shared, which was for this. So yeah, so this is something that you would have received. It's a very big file with a lot of clubs of Europe across. And so if you go through different sheets, you'll find different teams across. And this is something that I found, I think, which might interest the students from Spain, because these are some familiar clubs that you would have heard of. Like we have Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Sevilla, Getafe, and Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, etc. So we'll be trying to work on this data. And so many of you may have confusion that what does these things mean? FTHG, FTAG, FTR, HTHG, etc. So the meaning of these is this. FTHG and HG basically means full-time home goals, full-time away goals, full-time results, half-time home goals, half-time away goals, half-time results, etc. etc. These are the abbreviations that are being used. And today we'll be using the things that we learned yesterday, which was about pivot tables. So now that all of you know about pivot tables, I will show you how we can apply pivot tables here. So can somebody tell me what should I do to start a pivot table? I want my students to know this so that it will help you make these dashboards.
Just to define what do I want, no?
Mm-hmm.
And to put the active pivot chart. No?
Yes, pivot chart. So we go to insert, and from insert, we go to pivot chart. Thank you. And we go to pivot chart and pivot table. So now I need to tell the data, the range that I need. So the data range I need is from this part to, let's say we take only till AR, and we select, okay, we need to select all the teams for which I can do it. I'll select it once more. No, I select a team. I select this. No. Now I select, this is the range that I'm giving to my Excel. And yes, so I select this data. Now I say that want to work on a new worksheet. Now, there is one mistake that I did. Can somebody guess what is the mistake? So when I'm coming here, it is showing me names of the teams: Atletico, Bilbao, Barcelona, and then the numbers. So the one mistake that I did was that the data that I selected, I should have selected it from the top, but I selected from this part, because of which I missed out on the key variables. So now I will need to select the data once again. I go to insert, pivot chart and pivot table. I select my data from here, and then I start scrolling to the bottom. Now, after I have done this, I will create a new sheet. And now, as you can see, I'm getting the right options: home team, away team, full-time home goal, full-time away goal, full-time result, and everything else. So let me select home team as my axis. So now you can see, I can see this, and let me see this. So now, for example, I have this, and if I keep, so can you see how suddenly within a second, I can see the number of goals that each team has made against each other, and in total that the goals that they made. For example, let's say that Real Madrid played a match with Barcelona, and so this number tells me how these two teams played. But this is only full-time home goal. If I go for full-time away goal, now it tells me both full-time away goal, full-time home goal, both the goals. So, and similarly, the chart is also here in front of us. But right now it's very complex. I want to simplify it. So let me do this. Let me add one more element to it, which will literally make things very easy when we look at it. So now I go to an option of analyze. There's an option of analyze when we are doing this, and there's an option called insert slicer. I'll type it in the chat as well. Yes. So through insert slicer, I can, so like this is the options that I can get from insert slicer now. So for example, I have these as my options and I do an OK on it. So now this will give me an option to focus only on what I want. For example, I want to only see Barcelona. So now so this has now given me all the details of Barcelona matches. Barcelona, the number of goals that they scored against each team. Similarly, now if I want to check the away team, as I want to see what did they score with Real Madrid. They did not have. They had a draw as per this data. But if I want to see with Valencia, so I can see that Valencia had 5. Similarly, if I select multiple teams here, and I can also tick multiple here. So for example, I can at the same time see Barcelona and Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, and then select any of the teams here. So it tells me only about the scores that they had. And right now we have full-time away goal and full-time home goal selected. Both are selected. So if I go multiple here, so I can create a dashboard like this. So this is like the data that I have. And as per what I click, it will show me. And as you can see, this chart is also been created automatically. So I can also add this here. Yes, so you can now we can see both full-time away goal and full-time home goal of different teams that have played with each other. So I hope the data set you're finding very interesting because it is a football data set and it's not just for Spain. It has data for different countries and different sports league, football leagues in Europe. So even like this seems to be a data for Germany. Similarly, I'm sure this may also have Tajikistan in it. So you can find data for your country and you can do an analysis on it. And the tool, again, I will repeat the tool that I used. The tool that I used is called as a slicer, that like I mentioned. And to also show you, so making these dashboards, it takes a lot of time because we need to look at the exact data that we want. So as a sample, I will show one dashboard that has already been made, and it's a very interesting dashboard. So yes, so this dashboard is of the 59 years of humans in space. So as you can see now, so this dashboard is right now of different variables. So one variable is crew count by destination, which are the destinations that crews went to. This is the number of missions that we went, Earth orbit, ISS. These are destinations, Mir as a destination, moon, non-orbital space, the peoples that who have been on the space, male, female, human days in the space. So in this also, if I select Earth orbit, for example, now I should get data which is specifically for the Earth orbit, which, okay. So Excel is facing an error here. Moving on. So yeah, so this is like, for example, for crew count by destination. I think there's an error coming here. I can show with one more dashboard. So let's come to this dashboard. So this is another dashboard on renewable energy. And so this dashboard is specifically for this is for different continents. So let me show how it can show different countries. Let me go to Europe here. So as you can see, when I clicked on Europe, automatically now I have data specifically which is for Europe. And how I can then go in detail of it, I can go in a drill down. So now I can see data which is country specific. So as you can see now here, over here, I have data of Germany, France, Italy. And if I scroll down, this data of United Kingdom, Spain, and all this data, just on a click, I can get this data. Similarly, if I click Middle East, now I will automatically be able to see the data for Middle East. Iran, Saudi Arab, United Arab Emirates, Iraq, Kuwait, and I can see the solar energy rising. I can see the wind energy also rising. Similarly, I can see the non-renewable energy generation. And if I go to Africa, now it will show me data points for Africa. So just on a single click, I can understand data for different countries based on the data set that I have. So this is basically the beauty of how we can use these dashboards. it takes a lot of time to also make these dashboards. That's why these are some advanced dashboards that I'm showing you. But the strategy that I was showing you, it's through Slicer. I hope you're also trying to make one of yours as well. This is the data that was being used here. Yes, again, this is also something that, yeah. So if I press the number, the data automatically gets changed. The one which we were doing there. So this is also very important for business planning. If you're planning your business and if you want to quickly see and compare data from 2013 to 16 to 17, all the years, just on one click, you can see the data. I mean, this is the data that has been used, and through filter, we can even change. So right now it is focusing on fossil fuels and geothermal and hydropower. If I click here, and if I want more data, it can show me that.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Bashish.
Yes.
Can you please explain how you reached to dashboard? To that
How
one,
I
the previous one.
Yes. The one on Europe?
Yes. No, not the one in Europe. The one, no, the previous one. The next one.
The renewable energy?
Renewable energy.
Yes. So this is an advanced dashboard that has been made in so I did not so I'm showing this as because creating dashboard it takes a lot of time to create. So that's why I showed on a basic database and I'm showing an advanced version just as an example, after which we will create a basic dashboard with another data set, which is on road accidents.
But these dashboards come with the software, or we need to produce them.
We can create it with Excel. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll now use another data set that I have. So this is a data set that I have of road accidents. So I request everybody, I'll upload this data set as well. Yes, I think this is already uploaded. I'll share it in the chat. So now I showed you a basic dashboard and I showed you an advanced dashboard. Now the data set I'm sharing, I request everybody to try to follow me along. I've shared the dashboard, the data set on the chat. So now how we will begin here is, yes. So this is a dashboard on different accidents that has occurred on the road. And we will start making it. And I request everybody to follow along here. So I go to the insert tab, I go to pivot chart and pivot table. And now I need to select my data. I will select data based on starting from the day of the day of the week, and I select it's a very big data set. But we can also choose one portion of it, not necessarily the entire data set. For the ease of analysis, let me select one portion. This data set expands into lakhs. This is how the big data sets can work. So now we select. So yeah, please select 250 into 20 rows here. Yes. Now we have a new worksheet. And so just follow along, please. So now, as you can see on the right, we have accident date, we have day of the week, we have junction control, we have junction detail, we have accident severity, we have latitude, light conditions, show the data set. So it's important to do this analysis to know the variables. And I'll just do a wrap text here so that we can see it fully. Yes, so I'll zoom in also. So yes, just please notice the variables. It will be useful to analyze. We have number of casualties, number of vehicles, police force, road condition, road type, speed limit, time of the day, urban or rural, weather conditions, vehicle type. These are our variables. And now when we go to the, yes, so now let us try to fix, for example, day of the week as one of our filter. So now I have all the days of the week and I want to see the accident severity. And now I want to see the number of casualties. So as you can see, now I have this basic amount of data set with me, which tells me the different kinds of information. And yes, so now if I want, I can pick up any of the, so this is like serious and light is the different categories of accidents. And as you can see, out of the data set that we had, it can be noticed that highest number of accidents have happened on Friday and Wednesday. And if we want, we can even do it. So like I showed earlier in the slicer, we go to analyze and I choose the term slicer here. So now slicer basically tells us data for a particular specific day. Now how that is useful, I'll show. So for example, if I choose day of the week and I do an OK here. So now I can copy this in my dashboard. I'll open a new sheet, which I will name as dashboard. And this data that I have, like for example, if I want data on Sunday, so it will only now give me data for Sunday and move my filter. And to make it more complex, what I can do, I can add weather condition in my column. So now I also have weather condition. As you can see, maximum number of accidents have happened on fine or on a day when there is fine or no high winds. And I can change the data which can be specific to days. For example, if I go for Monday, it will only give me Monday, but it looks good with all of it. Now, this is in a way a dashboard that we have created. And now I just need to copy this to the dashboard tab and copy the chart. And yeah, as we change the indicators, I can get the data. And this is again, like I mentioned, it starts with very basic. And as we start playing with it, we can make it more and more complex as per how we want. So now I have, I'm making it rural and urban. If we instead of that, can someone suggest me how would you want to do it? Because this is very important data of road accidents. So what kind of information can we get or will you want to get out of this?
The relation with the weather conditions
With weather conditions.
and the vehicle type.
Vehicle type, interesting. So for vehicle type, for example, it is in the filter. So in the filter, if I want, I can change it. So these are labels for days. This is vehicle. So this is vehicle type. So these are the vehicle types that I have. Types are bus, car, goods, motorcycle over 500 cc, and other vehicles and taxis. So if I want to only see,
You have muted Bakshish.
okay, am I audible now? Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So So in the chart, if I want to see data of a particular vehicle type, this is where I can change it. I can press a bus here and the data will change. So as you can see, it tells me that a bus accident happened on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, only one. And similarly, I can change it to a motorcycle now. So again, the data changes as per the vehicle type. And this is something which is like all the data is fed in the visual system and it can tell me exactly what I want to see. So this is data for only car, not bike, not bus, nothing, only car. And these are with the weather conditions. Let us check for raining. So now it tells me that 4 accidents happened on Wednesday during rain, 3 on Monday. Similarly, I can check accident severity. There are two types of accident severity, serious and light. So if I want to see only serious accidents, there are only one. But if I select all the weathers, there were this many serious accidents, but only this is only for car. And if I go OK here, now I have all the vehicle accidents with severe severity for all these weather conditions. And how we can do it? We can do it through filter option and slicer as the dashboard I'm creating. So now you would also want to make your dashboard look good. So to make your dashboard look good, what we can do is that we can add some visual elements to it. For example, this can be done through inserting a table or inserting a rectangle to it. Just a second. So we can also insert images in it. We can download images from the internet and insert images to our dashboard, which can be used. And another way to make it look good is to also create things like this. So like you saw in the earlier one, this is how we can make it look good. So for example, I do this, we do a right click and we make it bring backward and send to back. So now we can see it like this. So this way we can aesthetically make our dashboard look good through adding things like these. And now I can also add something like a image of car accident. You can just I can pick an element of car accident from here and I can fit it in my Excel as well. Yes, so if I want, I can put an image like this here. So this way, it is also visually it looks good. So because these then can be used in your presentations like this after giving credits like this. So yes. Yeah. I hope now I'm able to explain better and you can see that we can make our dashboards look beautiful. We can adjust the size of the diagrams. So right now the slicer is for particular days. If I put it, let me insert one more slicer here from the analysis tab. Insert slicer. Let's put it on number of casualties. So if I want to put it for higher number of casualties, I can again adjust it according to that. So this is something which can give me data for any particular day that I want. And this helps in quickly understanding what we need. And again, like This was one example that we used. If I go on urban, rural, this will give me a divide of urban and rural. Similarly, any information that we need and the way we can make dashboards. I want to also show you some more dashboards, but before that, I will see somebody has written in the chat Salimov Nasipolo. Any question, Ibrahim? No. Yes. So now I will try to do something else with my analysis. I also want to see the speed limit, for example. So I put speed limit as my, yeah. So the data that I'm using, speed limit for everything is 30, all the data that points that we have used. This is for junction control, junction detail. We can. So when you are doing this, it is important to understand these four values. I'll explain this. So starting with first is filter. So filter right now is of vehicle type. So vehicle type is different kind of vehicles. For example, we have vehicle types. If I go in here as a filter, I see these are the vehicles: bus, car, motorcycle, other vehicle, taxi, etc. So whatever value that I will drag, it will give me that as a filter. So for example, if I put accident date, now I have accident on, I can put it date wise. Like which date do I want filter wise? I can filter as per the date through this. Second feature is columns. So if I change this, for example, if I remove accident severity and if I remove weather conditions, right now data will only show me the number of casualties on each day: Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, if I change and put something like road type in the column, so it will give me different. Yeah. Now we can see dual carriageway, one-way street, roundabout, single carriageway, different kind of roads where accident occurred. It gives me this in column. Column is this part, which is horizontal. Similarly, if we go to rows, now we have days of the week. If I want to remove days of the week and let me have something more complex here, let me have the severity of accident here. So we just have two types in severity. Let's check with something else. Let us check police force. So now all of this is metropolitan police. Just like that. And so now road type has gone to all of, so now we have data of all days and where the accident has occurred. For example, one-way street, how many accidents? Single carriageway, how many accidents on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? And this way, similarly, the chart has also come like that. So this we can adjust. Like if I go on Monday, it will only show me now data on Monday, where and how many accidents. So we see maximum accidents on Monday occurred on single carriageway. And this, if I copy paste this like this in the dashboard, it automatically it gets updated here also. If I go on Tuesday, Thursday, like that. So this way we can create our data and put it in a particular way. And just with one single click, we can see data of all the particular values that we want. Now to play with the data, if I remove road type and put road service conditions, this gives me the road service conditions: snow, dry, wet, like this. And but I think we've, we've, we've covered some very significant portion. Anybody who's able to follow along, who has any doubts here, that in terms of how slicer can be used, how dashboard can be made visually also, if you think so, like I showed, we can add images, we can create this rectangular, we can add this to make sure that our diagram looks good. And we can even change this with design. We can make it look like this or this. Or like this. This way, like I showed you the other one, that is like a very advanced one. And this is also, we can, as more and more time we invest in it, we can make it more and more advanced. Meanwhile, if there are doubts, we can discuss. If not, I can show you some more dashboards to make help you understand what all complex things can be made. There's one dashboard that I particularly wanted to show, which is on, yeah. So as you can see, this is a very visual dashboard. So this dashboard has, so if I click on any particular day, it would show me data for as per the requirement that I want. It's showing NA at the moment. Yeah, it has come. Yeah. So again, it's a very visual dashboard. I will be sharing all these files with you. These are some detailed insights. These are some summary matrix that have been shared. These are some calculations. Again, this is just a way that please don't get bogged down with it. It's just made in a very visual way. And this is now, if you see, go to summary, these are hyperlinks which have been shared. So if I click here, it will automatically take me there. Something that we discussed in the first class. This is the raw data. This is the raw data that was used to create this dashboard. So to create a dashboard, it can take time, but in today's class, please try to create a basic dashboard that we like the one that we discussed. Like this is a basic dashboard that we can complexify further. So yes, anybody has question? Yes. If not, I can also make use of this time to show you how, if you're facing problem in terms of making your visualizing your data, there are external tools that can also be used. We'll be just give a few minutes to that towards the end of the class so that you can use tools outside of Excel as well once you master Excel to take your learnings further and you make use of such complex tools to do complex dashboards or complex diagrams and make sure that you're able to excel it through even tools which are outside of Excel. Again, these are some figures which are there. Again, yeah, I will again be sharing this file with you as well. It should be here. Yeah, this is also available in the files that I shared. Meanwhile, I will add the extra data which you can access from here. While I'm adding more data for you, if you have any questions or any clarificatory doubts, we can discuss that because we have had 4 classes, and over the past 4 days, there are anything that you're not able to understand or anything you want me to repeat. I would love to do it because I want my students to learn as much as they want. And if you're not able to learn from any of the last 4 classes also, we can discuss that. Yes, so I've shared another file with you, which you can use for learning more about dashboards. And also, I would like to show the same process to you on that how we can do the same on Google Sheets. If you don't have Excel, how we can do this activity on a Google Sheet. So now what I will do, I will take the data from here and copy it to a Google Sheet. There is a little difference of the process in Google Sheet, but it is more or less very much similar. So let's take some data till the value 500. And first we copy it here at another value. Yeah. So yes, the data is getting copied. Insert function is hidden. I'll tell you. Yes. So can you see this insert function? Is this visible? The one which is beside
It's
view.
visible, but it's not accessible.
Okay.
It's like bold. I mean, it's like I cannot tick.
Okay.
It's there, but I cannot tick.
Is it a sheet that you have started, or is it the sheet that I shared with you?
The one you have just
Shared.
shared. I open it.
Okay.
And insert and format are blurred. I cannot click.
Okay. I will try to give an edit access if that will help.
Yeah, maybe it's because I have to ask view only.
Okay. Okay.
So I have to ask
Re
for be able to.
Yes. 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 Can
Just
you
send you a
try?
request.
Yeah. Can you try once more? I think now you should be able to do it. Are you able to do now?
Refresh. Yeah, now it is.
Now it's working?
You were not giving us option on, now it's working.
Great, great,
Thank
great.
you.
Yes. So, yes. So now what I will do, I'll show you how we can do it here. So similarly, we go to the insert tab and there's an option called pivot table. Now it is asking me my range. What is the data that I want? So I select this and add the vehicle type and I scroll it to the bottom. We can even do it with control plus down. I'll show you a shortcut. So if I press control and down, see, it automatically takes us to the bottom. But to avoid all of that also, so now let me first start it with this. Yeah, avoid all of that when we are selecting a data set. The easiest way that I think we also discussed is we go select pivot table. I see. So right now it is only selecting this much C501 to H502, just 2 rows. If I change it to C1, now it will select a lot of it. So C1 to C502, which basically means the entire thing. But if I change it to C250 to C to H502, now it will only select from 250. This way, if you just change this number, it can change the entire selection of the data set. So I create a new sheet. And now here I need to add rows and columns. So if I go on selecting rows, let me select select day of the week. And in my columns, I select the junction details. Or I can even select accident severity, which is serious and light. And similarly, I add values. All right, I got it. So there is an error that we have done. Can somebody tell me what is the error based on the data? Yes, yeah, there is an error that we have done. Can somebody guess? I'll tell. The error that we have done is we have only selected these rows from C to H, but we need to select from C to U, all of these rows. So now what we can do, either we can edit this. So here I can change it from from H to U, and now I should have higher number of options. Yes. So now, as you can see, now my options have increased. Earlier, my options was limited because I had only selected up till H. Now it's selected up to U. Now I have more options. So if I now type here weather conditions, so now I have details as per days and weather conditions. So yes, now like I was telling, can somebody tell me now what should I go? What should go with values? Values is in Excel, it's mentioned as sum of values. In Google Sheet, it mentions as values. What should go in values? There is a very simple rule to follow here. Yeah, any guess? It's okay if your guess is wrong. I want you to try. What should go in values? All right, I think it's getting confusing. So ideally, the values should always be numeric. It should always be a number. So what numbers do we have? The numbers do we have is the number of casualties and number of vehicles. So let us say number of casualties. Now we have numbers, and let us also have number of vehicles. So now it gives us that. So it gives us sum. Let's have it one to not confuse. So the rule is in the sum of values option, try to have anything which is a number. If it is not a number, it can complexify the table and it will also not be very useful. So values should ideally be a number. And in terms of your rows and columns, it should be a variable. A variable can be a week of the day, can be weather conditions, it can be road, it can be accident severity, or it can be anything. So, but value should be a number. That way your analysis will come good. So yes, we do it like this. And let us change column into something else. Let us change column into local authority district. So now it gives me district wise Westminster, Hammersmith, Chelsea, Kensington. It gives me as per the location, and I can change it and I can get data as per what I want. Can even be road type. So now I have road types and different accidents. This can give me analysis of the road types and the number of accidents that are occurring there. Now what I will do is that now I want to create a slicer here again. So in Excel, yeah, so in Excel, we have an option of analyze. In Google Sheets, we have an option called data. Under data, you come to the fifth option, which is called slicer. We come here, and now it is similar to how we did it in Excel, but now we need to choose a slicer here. So let us choose a slicer of vehicle type. So now it can give us an analysis of total which vehicles are having more accidents. So if I clear all, now I select car. Yes. And if I press OK, Now this slicer is giving me information about cars only. And this is again something that is very similar to Excel, and we can use it as per how it should be used in terms of the vehicles that are available. So similarly, if I change the slicer and if I clear it all, and from here I can change my slicer and I can change it to road surface conditions. So now I can change the road surface conditions to snow, for example, snow or frost. And now I do it okay. So now I see there were very few accidents in snow on Monday and Tuesday only. But there are more number of accidents happening on dry days, I assume. This is something which again the data will tell. Yeah, there are so many accidents on. So what I can next do, I can just copy it, paste it on a new sheet, and this will help me create a entire dashboard out of it. And this we can also use to create any kind of chart. So yes, so as you can see, I have the chart for this as well. But right now, as the chart is not, so it also taking total. That's why the number of the chart is coming out as a very exaggerated, which we don't need. But this is basically how we can also create a dashboard in Excel through using pivot tables, through using slicer, and then putting them. I'll also type it in the chat. Important things to note: rows, columns. So please write this down. Rows and columns should be variable, and values should be numeric. That is how the analysis will come out better. Yes. And yeah, anybody has any doubt here? Is the insert option now working for everybody? Meanwhile, we can,
Yes.
yes, great. So meanwhile, we can keep the last 10 minutes for any doubts, but before that, I would just like to also share some of the common shortcuts. I'll also, that file, I'll be sharing the shortcuts file. So everybody knows how we can create shortcuts. And let us meanwhile also try to do it on the entire data set. Let's directly change it to 10,000. 5,000. Okay, we did not copy that much. The real data has that much data. This is here. Hmm. Yeah, this is what we used to create the Europe data. So we'll do it for another different league this time. So we'll create it based on this league. So I think this is the Italian league because there is Roma, there is Juventus. I also watch some bit of football, so just that's coming from there. And let's go to pivot chart. Please follow along. If you have not been able to create till now, this time, this is the last time that we are creating another uh, data dashboard. So please try to follow along. We go here. Now we need to select the data set. Right now it's selecting the entire data set, but we don't need that much. What we need is till this point. So we'll go from here, we'll select till this point 20, and then we drag it along. Yeah, we drag it along till here. We create a new worksheet. This is where we are on the new worksheet. Now let me have home team in rows and away team both in rows and columns. One of that, so one of the team should be go. So this is where you would need to apply your logic that one team should be in row and one team should be in column. That's how we can see that they played their match. And now I will also, for everybody's understanding, go to the sheet to understand the abbreviations, which is FTHG, full-time away goal, full-time home goals, full-time away goals, full-time result, half-time home goals, half-time away goals, half-time result. HS, basically it's the home team shots and away team shots. These are the basic details. And yes, again, just for revision, now we will come here and do an analysis. So we will now put home team away goals, home full-time home goals here. So again, the data comes up, and so through this, you can see the number of teams, how many goals and where they have scored. So we can even reduce this to only selected teams. Let me say that I only want information about Milan and Roma. So now I have details of Milan and Roma with all the teams. Or I can even put it like only one team, Fiorentina. So now I know the number of goals that they scored, full-time home goals that they scored against all the teams. 3, 1, 2. So this way I can get these details. And similarly, this data can be available for everybody. And if I want, now I'll apply a slicer here. I'll go to analysis, insert slicer, and I want to see it for home team and away team. Now I have these two slicers. What I will do, I'll create another sheet where I will put this data. Yes. So I will copy this here. And I will copy this. I will take this here. Now I will change this. And now you can see the number of goals the team Inter scored against all the teams. This is the legend which shows us. Yeah. Now to make it a little attractive, what I will do, I can also, like I was telling, we can take some good backgrounds. Football background Excel. We can take this image and put it on our data to make it look good. Yes. So I create this bigger and I do a right click. I send it back. And now I have the data. This way, my dashboard also looks good, and I can keep adding more information down to it. Yes. We can shorten this as well. So this way, I can see the goals that they have played. Now I'll also copy the home team. So now if I say I want to see how much they scored. So now with this, I can see how much did Inter score against Cagliari in their match. I can similarly see for all the teams. They scored 2 goals with Lazio, 1 goal with Lecce, and with Napoli, I can see for Napoli. This way my graph it will give me this analysis. If I want, I can change this to full time away goals as well. So now I have both away goals and home goals. And yeah, so yes. So this way it gives a very good understanding of who won the match. For example, in this one, Caligari won the match. And this is yeah, Caligari won. And this way, as part of the dashboard, we can calculate any important information we want and we can display it in a very interactive way. With one single click, I can get information about the scores that have been scored, or and if we want, we can even complexify it further and go for any other such information. Let us see if we want to complexify it further and use it for something else. So, for example, this is the entire table with the analysis. We can also use any other kind of charts. But again, depends on the data. If the data allows. Yes, for this one, scatter chart won't even be found. So that's why it's important to know the data, and then only we can apply our learnings on the data. And to make our diagram look good, we can also put external image like I just did. And we did not use the filter. Yeah, filter we did not use. So if we put the filter of home time result, so this way now we can use the filter feature, and if we want, we can check any of these one, and it will change the. So yes, this can help us again change as per how we want. So HTR is halftime result. Based on halftime result, we can change our data and create such diagrams. So this is like one of the dashboard that we just did, and we can work further on it and complexify it further as per how we want. So again, like I was working on other data. So this is Roma versus let's see all of it, all the teams without filter. They did not play. This is for halftime result. Let us select all and check it for, yeah, comes up. But we don't think filter here is not working well. Let's remove filter, and now we can select all, multi-select. Clearing the filter. Yeah, now we can see for all. Yes. So we can see all the matches of Roma, Inter, Fiorentina, Cagliari, all the teams. So all of this is done through pivot, slicer, and pasting it in the dashboard. That's how it is made. Yes, Ibrahim. Yes, yes. Doubt? I think Ibrahim raised his hand.
I also did raise my hand.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, because now that we are very close to wrap it up, I think it's clear that you have shown us proof how much we can get with these tools.
Yes.
But one of the questions that come to my mind for both maybe researchers, because we are using more into analysis, or even the students that may want to practice or want to do some assignments for college or whatever they want. How do they reach to this kind of data sets? Because you have already, you take it for granted, no?
Yes, yes.
And you give us all this data sheet. How can we reach there?
Sure, sure. I'll show how these data sets can be used. So one way is to use it through this platform called Kaggle, which I will share the website of. This data set that I got for the football teams, is through Kaggle. So I went in this website and I'll share this link with everybody here in the chat.
Are they open source?
Yeah, these are open source data sets. And another source through which I got some data which we did not use is through Eurostat.
Okay.
Eurostat, I'm assuming a lot of people here would already be knowing, but I will still share the link of Eurostat through which we can get data. And I will show you how I got the data for football. So I went here, I wrote Europe football. And over here, I saw European football database. I saw football events, European season, and club tweets, top 5 European football leagues, all this data set. Now I'll show how to download it. For example, I want to download for this. This is the data set that we used, European football database 2019-2020. So what I basically did, you need to create an account here. So after creating an account, on the top right option, there's an option of download. So from here, you can download the file and download it for any further use. I clicked here and the file automatically got downloaded. As you can see, this is the file that got downloaded, and then I was able to use it. So these datasets are also available on GitHub. GitHub is one more platform where a lot of people, so if I write GitHub Excel dashboard or GitHub Excel data. So like this is
Can you
something
type
that,
on the
yeah, I'll share the link
chat?
of GitHub. Yes. I will share a document which will have these links available. So through that also, it
Thank
will
you.
be a list of resources which can also be used. Yeah. I've shared GitHub as well. And now I think we are reaching close to the last 6-7 minutes of this class. And yes, I think one more, Ibrahim had raised his hand. Any doubt that anybody has? Meanwhile, I'll also share data. Yeah, one thing that I wanted to show. Yes, I'll come to that first. So since we just have a few minutes left, once you start, mastering Excel and knowing more about Excel, there is something called Flourish, which is used. So in Flourish, once you have mastered your data, you can use this website called Flourish. I'll share the link of this website as well. So Flourish is a tool for data visualization. And as you can see, you can create such diagrams with world, regions of the world, projection maps, heat maps, scatter maps. These are scatter box plots and other diagrams. Then this is heat map, for example. I'll zoom in my screen also in case it's not visible. So these are maps. We can, if we have data for these particular cities and states and countries, we can put these data here. And how this functions is we just need to upload data in this. So as you can see, these are different data charts that can be made. Connected scatter plot, animated scatter plot, BWOM. Similarly, 3D maps. We can create these 3D maps through this website. So this I recommend to use after you have learned Excel enough. Then you can use the Excel data in these diagrams and create more complex and more good looking data sets. These are highlight bars with different countries. This is for again globe. These are radial trees, hierarchical bars, sunburst, tree map. And similar to this, so this is also something many of you might be seeing. These are directional chords, that what are the connections with different kind of connecting values. So this is also something which is very useful. And quickly, I'll share link and resource for one. This is also something very important. I'll share for one more website. So this is called Data Wrapper. So in Data Wrapper as well, we can create different. Data Wrapper does not show like that. But if I just write Data Wrapper, this is how we can also use Data Wrapper. So this is also for charts, maps, and tables. Share link. Yeah. So for example, if I say tables, so I can create such complex tables and it can create very beautiful dashboards, which are easier to make as well. But I would still recommend to first master Excel. As you can see here on the right, with one single click, you can modify your diagrams as much you want. Yeah. So these are some stories that they have done.
Thank you. Thank you, Axis, for your effort.
I hope
just
it
wanted
was.
to make a comment before Patricia wraps it up. I think that is very clear that we, in the beginning, we could contribute, but as the sessions having been more and more advanced, we were less familiar and maybe we cannot interact that much, but it's clear that we have all learned, okay? And I think also for, at least for me, has been very helpful to use both devices. To work in the computer when I am watching whatever you are doing in my personal device, my telephone, because to watch and to work in the same computer has made maybe also difficult for us to interact with you. But we are really grateful for what you did. I'm going to request to everybody, I'm going to put also the attendance sheet. Those who will attend class, you don't need to do it, but those individuals who have were attending in the session individually, it would be good if we can sign that, download it and sign this attendance sheet also before you forget you have attended this seminar. Okay, so now I leave it on to Patricia to close the seminar so that we can finish this seminar for students in this European project.
Thank you very much, Belen. I am having in
Patricia?
the last minutes some problems with my connection, so I am now with my mobile phone. I don't know what has happened, but I have to say,
hear you, Patricia.
first of all,
you are muted.
Sorry? Okay. Now? Yes?
Patricia,
can you hear me?
Are muted.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I think I can hear her.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Patricia?
Yes,
Okay,
actually,
so sorry for that because I am having problems in the last minutes with my connection. I don't know what had happened, but well, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I am with my mobile phone, so I have to thank you very much to all of you for your attendance. It has been a pleasure to share with you this seminar. We hope that one of our objectives of our project that we can reach it with the tools, technological tools for you to use with your various activities and now and in the future. So we hope we can provide these technological tools with this seminar for these activities. I want to thank to Belén for all her work. I want to thank to Baxis for his explanations and his interest in making sure that everything is understood, and for these examples and very interesting examples. Well, we hope to see you in next seminars for students that the project Education for Technology and Literacy and Inclusion project will organize some other interesting topics such as virtual reality. And when I encourage you to visit our website, whose address is in the program you have. And there you will be able to see the progress of our activities and also the seminar, the next seminars we are going to organize. So again, thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, I think someone has raised hand to talk. Yes.
Someone has raised hand to talk. Someone has raised hand to talk. Someone has raised hand to talk. Someone has raised hand to talk.
Yeah, we just want to express.
We just want to express. We just want to express. We just want to express.
Can you hear me? We just want to express our thanks for you, Bakshish, and for the organizer who did it for us. We learned a lot from your side, and thanks. It was a great time. It was a great session. Thank you very much.
Yes, I also like to thank all the participants and all the organizers, Belén ma'am, Patricia ma'am, the teams which were located in Tajikistan and in Spain. This is the first time that I'm teaching to international participants, so it's a great learning for me as well. And hopefully we get to meet sometime later in the future, probably as part of the project in India, in Spain, in whichever part of the world. It's always great to connect with people virtually and to learn from each other. I also, in the preparation of the program, I also myself learned a lot in doing all these activities. So like it is said, a teacher is always a learner. So I'm sure the things that you got to learn, you can teach it to other people so that people can use it for their own careers to progress in life and make the best out of everything that we did in the past 4 days.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, and hope to see you soon.
Yes, and
Also
welcome
those in
everybody to
Portugal.
India.
Yeah,
In-
also
See you
those in
soon.
Portugal.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Patricia. Bye. See you.
Thank you, Belén. Thank you, everybody.